Hi, welcome to Coffee with Carrie. Here's your host, Carrie LeZotte.
Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carrie. And I can tell that there is one person watching. And if you want to say hello or ask a question, please type it into the chat and say hi and let us know that you're there. You can watch our show if you're watching it recording. We do broadcast live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, various pages. And this is one of the new things that we're trying here in the township. And this show is really to introduce you to the people that help run the township and make it all happen and work behind the scenes. And today I am so delighted to welcome the director of our spectacular Bloomfield Township Library, Tera Moon. Welcome, Tera.
Hi, everybody. So glad to be here.
So I have to say that your name, Tera Moon, I think that it's like a character in a book. It needs to be a character in a book. It kind of reminds me, I was like, what section of the library would Tera Moon's character be in? And I feel like it's kind of like not YA fiction, but like a Wrinkle in Time. That movie, that not in that movie. That was a movie, but it was first a book. It was one of my favorites. So
yeah, I have heard that too, like a sci-fi fantasy novel. Yeah, yeah.
That's what you would belong in, like with the sword.
Right. I'm going to work on that.
So tell me, how did you end up at the library? How did you end up here in Bloomfield Township? What did you do before this?
Well, for my whole professional career, I've been a librarian. I was at the Southfield Public Library before coming here for 12 years. And before that, I worked in bookstores. And working in a library is even better than working in a bookstore. So I've always loved books and reading.
Mm-hmm. And talking to people about books and reading, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
What is the hot book? Is there a hot book right now that we should all want to read?
You know, there is an author, Colleen Hoover, who is just blowing up on the fiction charts. TikTok, of all things, is having a really big influence on what people are reading. So when the librarians start to hear somebody ask for a book repeatedly that they've never heard of before, we check TikTok, and usually there's somebody's talking about it on TikTok.
Wow, that's so cool. So we haven't gotten into TikTok yet, but we are going to try making videos on TikTok. And I haven't consumed that. Like, I'm a total Gen Xer. I'm on Facebook. So I will start doing that some more. Now we have 7 people watching. I think it's the most people we've ever had live. So whoever you are, thank you, and say hello. And if you have a question for Tera, please, you can put it into the chat and then we can ask her live. But while we're waiting for your questions or for you to say hello, Tera, can you tell us, like, how does the library operate separate? I know it's a little bit separate from the township as far as the government, and I'm just going to let you explain how things work, because I know people always want to know where their tax dollars go and how does it work in the township?
Yeah, so we're established by a Michigan law called PA 164. There's about 10 different ways that public libraries can be set up, and that's the way that we're set up. So we have a relationship with the township, but we're completely autonomous. The relationship consists of the fact that the township levies our taxes for us, and then they also sign our vouchers, is the term that they use in the law, which means they sign the checks that pay the bills for the library. The township also administers our payroll. So we gather up all the hours that employees work, and we ship that over to the township every 2 weeks, and then they actually do the payments. The township also administers our benefits for our full-time employees as well. So that's the connection there. But our trustees, there are 6 trustees that serve on our library board of trustees. They are elected by the residents of Bloomfield Township every 4 years, same as the township elections. And their 3 jobs are to hire and fire the library director, to set policy, and to approve the budget. So that's what they do.
Okay. We do have a question. Our clerk, Martin Brook. Thank you, Martin. How about an update on the library's strategic plan efforts?
Wow, it's like Martin read my mind. That was the number one thing I hope to talk about today. Thanks, Martin. So the library's strategic plan expired in 2020, and we all know what was happening at that time. It was just not the right time for us to start a new planning process. So we are just finally getting to that process this year. We've spent the summer doing surveys and interviews and focus groups and gathering as much information as we can about what people want from the community, and then we will align our resources and goals with how to meet those goals that people want from the community, from in their community. So actually tonight is our board meeting for November, and there will be a review of the draft of our strategic plan. So we've got it like, I don't know, 95% done at this point. The trustees will have a chance to make some comments on it. Our consultant will take it back and massage it into place, and then it will be revealed at our December board meeting for adoption if the board chooses to do that. So we're getting really close. I'm excited about it.
So what are some highlights? Anything special you can share?
Yeah. So one of the things that's going to be a holdover from our previous strategic plan is to review spaces in the library that are maybe underutilized or just need a little bit of re-envisioning. One place I can think of off the top of my head is our computer lab. This building was renovated in 2008. And at that time, computer labs were the thing. You had to have a computer lab. But now in this day when everybody brings their own devices, it's just very different than it was that 14 years ago. That space is a little bit underutilized. So it's been a space that we want to look at.
Sure. Well, and you will still, I'm sure, have some computers, but there's so many right now and they're not all being utilized. So yeah. I totally get that. We do have another question from one of our people here. So this is Bloomfield Senior Center. One of our favorite partners. Do the librarians spend time at the Senior Center? I think this person knows that the answer is probably yes. Yeah.
I think this person does. Yes.
So what do they do?
Librarians do spend time at the Senior Center in a couple of different capacities. Probably the most common thing is that we call it popping up. They'll set up a little pop-up table and chat with people, promote the library, talk about programs that we have, sign people up for library cards if they don't already have them. And I know that we have done partnerships on different programs and book clubs as well. We also, I think we still supply books in the little cafe that's in the Senior Center.
Well, cool. All right. So what kind of staff? I know that there's a large staff that you have, right? And there's some part-time and full-time. Why don't we talk about who they are?
Sure. Yeah, we have about 100 people on staff, which a lot of people are surprised to hear. But because we're open 9:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. 4 days a week, and we've got weekends to staff as well, we need a large staff to have different shifts. So of those 100 people, about 3/4 of them are part-time, and about 1/4 of them are librarians who have a master's degree in library science. The other folks that are library workers might be clerks, clericals, finance people, HR people. So that's a little overview of our staff.
Well, great. So I did come in the other day and I took some photos. So let us do a little tour. Let me click the right. Which one do I want? This one. So tell us, this is when you come right in the doors, this is immediately to your left, and it's the gift shop, right?
Yeah, we call it the library shop. And this shop has a couple of different types of items you can purchase. The books, and there's also CDs and DVDs, are supplied by our friends of the library, and they are received by donations that residents deliver to the library on a daily basis. And then the pottery is sourced by one of our library staff, actually, and yeah, it sells really well. She prices it really inexpensively. They make really nice gifts.
So in addition to your staff, there's volunteers, right? Because the Friends of the Library it's a volunteer group. Yeah.
Yes, that's
so
correct.
How big is that group?
The Friends is a little over 300 people, around 320 people. Yeah. Those are all members. Of course, there's a board that runs all the Friends activities. And then there's a core group of volunteers who really run because we have a monthly sale of used items. We just had one this past Saturday. And that group is about maybe 20 to 30 people.
And that sale is always fantastic. So I know we'll have to promote it next time. So turning around the corner now, this is the only area where you can have food, right?
That's correct. Our vending cafe. We have a couple of vending machines, and this is where you'll see a lot of people hanging out to have a snack. It's also very popular with people who play mahjong and bridge, and they hang out in there a lot too.
Okay. Oh, and I just made my way into the youth area. And so what is this fall gnome friend? What is this? What's happening here with this?
This is our Gnome-vember craft kit. Since the pandemic, we have really embraced take-home craft kits, and this is the one that the youth librarians came up with for November. So you make a little gnome friend.
I love little gnome friends. So awesome. And then this looks, I don't know, like a whole garden project here. I just thought it was such a interesting thing. So was this made by the librarians or made by the kids?
Yes, this was made by the youth services librarians. Over the summer, the theme for summer reading was oceans of possibility. And so this is a coral reef made out of different art supply products.
And we're looking at, I think this is the magazine area for the
kids.
It's kids, youth, and adults. That's how it's designated, right?
It's youth, teen, and adult.
Youth, teen.
Yeah.
Okay. Teen. All right. And so here's more of the youth area. Spectacular. Spent many hours there myself with my daughter when she was growing up. This is kind of like a hangout study space for the kids. And this is the secret terrace that I never knew about that you enter through the back of the kids' room. And what kind of programming, what do you guys do out here?
We have been doing some outdoor story times there in all kinds of weather since the pandemic. We use it a lot in the summer for water-related events. We have a little garden out there too that the youth librarians pick families to tend the garden each summer.
Nice. Okay. And so we continue. There's so much to this library. It is award winning. Am I right? In many ways, I would imagine.
Yes. There is a lot.
There's a lot there. This is part of the kids area. So they don't just read books, they engage with all kinds of materials as well. And so this is a new area. When I came in, I think this had been the DVDs, where the DVDs used to be.
You got it. Yes. Good memory. Actually, this came out of our last strategic planning process when we identified that, usage of media items is shrinking a bit because people can stream so much now. And the rate of people using the building was increasing. So there are some times, especially final exam times, when our library looks like an airport if a flight has been canceled. And there's like people just laying on the floor, plugging wherever they can. It's really crowded in here. So we identified that we didn't have enough places for people to sit. And so we moved all of the media into the adult and youth collections. We did not remove any of it. We just did. And then we created this area with 70 new seats.
Nice. Well, and it feels like libraries, it's so much more than just books, right? It's so much more. And just the programming you guys are offering, it's just like, it's very, very impressive. So,
and it's really important for us to bring the community together. There's between the senior center and us, we're the only places where the community can gather together. Yeah. And so that's a really important mission of ours.
I think this was like 10 o'clock on a Monday, and you can see that this is, there's probably 10 people sitting in that magazine room.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite spots in the library.
Yeah. And this is the outdoor terrace. It's fall now, so it's not, I guess, place where people are going to go now, but it's lovely in the spring and summer.
Yeah, it's pretty lovely in the fall too. It's lovely all year round.
And here's the computer center that you were talking about. This is the training room, and this is the rest of the computer center. So this is kind of what you're looking at reimagining, because this isn't utilized as much as it used to be.
Yeah, we have a dream of making it like the Apple Genius Bar, where people can come and get help with their devices. And
I think everybody wants to send their parents there. Like even my child, who's 16, she wants to send me there because she thinks I need help with different apps and things, which I guess I do sometimes, but it's a lot to figure out. And it's nice to have experts that can help things out. Oh, look, here we have a comment. This is one of our trustees. Thank you, Val. We love the Township Library. Thank you for doing this great feature interview about the library. Well, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be talking to Tera.
Thank you, Val. Thank you.
And the other part with these are also just really impressive quiet spaces where people, how does this work so that people can use them?
Yeah, you have to be a Bloomfield Township resident and have a library card. And our library cards have RFID chips in them, and they work with the readers on these doors. So as long as your card is ready to go, you can enter the room.
All right. Oh, and I'd love, this is the part of the teen area. I just highlighted the graphic novels because I think that's something that's super cool that you're able to have.
Yeah, we have a great collection of graphic novels.
And around the corner here, here's more of the teen area. This was the school day, so all the kids were where they were supposed to be. They were in school.
Yeah.
And this, I just have to mention, I took a picture of this because I have to tell you that it's one of the places I stop and I get at least one book from here every time I come to the library because sometimes I just don't know. It's like there's too many choices. And so I feel like this little section has narrowed down the choices for me. And so I usually take something. I'll find, my regular places I go to, but I really appreciate this.
Good. That's why we do it. Yeah, we know that there's just so many books to read and so little time. So we pick out the good ones for you.
Well, here's the outdoors, which is always lovely, lovingly manicured as well. So yes. It always looks fantastic.
Thank you. We actually have brochures inside the library that will explain all the different plants that are in our gardens, and they are maintained by Goldner Walsh.
And oops, I'm looking for my final picture. I think it was at the very beginning. So I was there Friday night and I had never been in the community room before. And here we are. Let me put that shot up for us. And this was for our Carpusian trio, which was really well attended. And it was, it was better than a concert because the space was kind of so intimate. And then he would play for a while and then he would talk a little bit about what he was doing. And I did want to just mention that I guess you guys got new seats recently, and there were a couple people in the audience that were talking about how comfortable they were. So they were much appreciated.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, that was something that came out of the pandemic too. During when we first came back to the building, we were doing a lot of meetings in the community room so we could space out. And we were sitting in those chairs that were there previously. And after you sit in those chairs for, 20, 30 minutes, they make themselves known. And so we decided that we needed some new chairs for that room because we love to have concerts and we want people to feel cozy and comfortable there.
Yes. Well, I think they sure were. And for Friday night and it was a free concert. Anybody could go, which is just, fantastic. So I know there's other kind of chamber music programming. Is that coming up soon as well?
Yeah, we have a great chamber music series with students from the University of Michigan. The first concert of the season is this Friday. This will be our first concert since 2019 as well. So we're super excited to have that back.
And I was really, it was great that there were all ages. There were people there with their whole family and from, little ones all the way until older folks. It was really a very diverse audience that came. Good. And I'm sure that's probably what you get at the other programs as well. So what else makes the library special, do you think? I know that we didn't talk about there's a whole bottom floor, and that's where the used book sale happens once a month, right? And then what else? There's other rooms for programming?
Yeah, the rooms downstairs we use for programming, but they are also available to the public to rent out if like homeowners associations have meetings in our rooms. Other community groups use it for different meetings. So those are available to rent.
Okay, great. And what else can you tell me? What's a typical week like? And what's happening these days that's extra special? I mean, we're kind of moving into the holidays, Thanksgiving, and what's happening there?
Well, I think the highlight right now is that we are back to the programming levels and activity levels that we were prior to the pandemic. So people finally feel safe to be together and be in crowds. So we have all of our book clubs are running, story times running. These concerts are back, which are great. People love them. You know, another advantage of our concerts is they start on time. I love going to concerts, but I hate waiting. You know, when is this band going to go on? What else? We have a really great series of history lectures. The third one is tonight, actually, at 7 p.m. And the topic escapes me right now, but those are really great. So that's, I think, the best thing happening right now is we're just back to what we were in 2019.
Well, I was going to just share, I was going to look at your website here because maybe we can show people a little bit because it really,
Awesome.
There's so much going on. And I think that there's a good calendar on here so that people, if they want to see the different kinds of programming. Yeah. I mean, I was like, wow, there's so much happening. And
yeah,
this is just 1 week of different book clubs that people can join and different programming. And I will say that, so the chamber music concerts, that's something that Bloomfield Television that we cover and that we'll have on our broadcast and on our website, our YouTube page, so that you can always see that different kinds of programming. And I think we do some of the lectures too. So all kinds of good stuff going on. Is there anything that we should highlight here that you'd like to show people?
Well, you know, you asked a question a few minutes ago, what makes the library special? And I think it's the people, both the patrons who come in and use our library, but our staff who greet the patrons and help them. And they're the ones who come up with all that really creative programming, run them, moderate book clubs, facilitate conversations, book the bands and acts that we bring along. So I think that's the thing that I really want everybody to know about, is how awesome and amazing and creative and hardworking our staff is.
Well, it is absolutely evident. So congratulations on doing a great job. And thank you for taking the time and sharing the story of the library and your path here and everything that's going on. So I hope we can do it again. It's been really nice talking to you. Oh, we have someone. Let's see. Who's this? Nadine?
Nadine. I know Nadine.
Hi, Nadine. Well, usually it's our friends and family that watch, so it's nice. Thank you, Nadine.
Yeah, thank you, Nadine.
Yeah, so it's such a lifesaver for so many of us readers. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. That's what we love to hear.
Well, and you've gotten the most comments of any show, so it's very exciting. Maybe I should move the show from 10. I've been doing it 10:30 to the afternoon. Although next show we're having our police chief James Gallagher will be with us, and I know that he's going to have a lot of questions and about what's been going on there. So, thank you, Tera, for joining us today.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Good. All right. Well, everybody, thanks. If you've been watching, you are welcome to come into the cable station and have coffee with me. This is your resource. If you'd like to do a podcast or you have an idea for a show, we want to hear from you, because these human interest stories, what's going on in the township, it's what's most important to us, because it's right next door. And oh, look, it's a comment from the library. Thanks for having the library on Coffee with Carrie. Well, thank you for being there. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day.